Hello, my friend, and welcome. I am Bronwyn of the Astrology Goddess, and I'm here to bring you 5-minute energy report for the week of November 23rd, 2020. So we are looking ahead to a week of very mutable, changeable, visionary energy. There's a real Piscean, Neptunian slant to the energies this week and some really important conversations that are happening between other planets and the great dreamy visionary planet of Neptune, who will be stationing direct at the end of this week. So I'm seeing many of these planetary aspects or conversations that happen leading up to Saturday, the Neptune station, as being inner conversations that are preparing us to begin to expand our dreams into the coming year. It's really this Piscean flavor that won't come into full bloom for another 9 to 18 months. So what we're getting is a little preview of the subtle work that we're going to be doing in 2021 to begin to expand our little fledgling dreams, and the work that eventually will come in 2022, where we're really plunging deeply into a whole new creative vision for our lives. So it's kind of a sneak preview week of some energies that feel small and subtle at this point, but will build in a gentle, subtle, semi-conscious way over the next 18 months. So I want you to really pay attention this week to your creative urges, your dreams and at night, and your visions in the daytime. Pay attention to the things that open your heart, the art that you're exposed to that really awakens and opens your emotions and your mystical senses. And just pay attention to those subtle flows of Neptunian mystical and creative energy as they flow into your life this week. Because although it may seem like a passing energy in terms of the context right now of all the hard, grounded work that we're doing, these are actually the very first glimmers of something really new that we'll be blooming into in the coming years. So Neptune stations at 18 Pisces at the end of the week. So what does that mean? He's been on his annual retrograde for the last 5 or 6 months. This is an annual thing with the big outer planets. The retrogrades have a different meaning and feel than they do for our inner planets. It's different than a Mercury, Mars, or Venus retrograde. It's an annual event that lasts about half the year. So there is a slowing down of our Neptunian faculties when Neptune is in retrograde, but it's subtle. But those moments when he does go direct are kind of moments of the tide turning or the dam beginning to burst, right? We have that watery, spiritual, artistic flow of Neptune starting to move forward in our lives again. And the image that I was thinking about for this was if you live in a place like I do on the ocean, where there's a big tidal flow and sand flats, you have that experience sometimes at low tide of walking on dry sand that suddenly becomes wet, even though the water is still very far out and far away. There's this seepage that's happening beneath the sand where the water is starting to ooze in, and soon all of that will be liquid, all of it will be underwater. But what we first experience is just a few little pools under our feet. And that's kind of the feeling with the Neptune station, right? We're going to be reminded of the things that we were dreaming into in the spring. And we're just going to start to get our feet wet again with our creative flow. So I think that's something to really look forward to. But something to keep in mind also is that anytime that Neptune stations, it can also have the effect of making us feel tired, sleepy, groggy, to have a little bit of brain fog. So if you're direct thinking and your logical mind and your ability to move swiftly are feeling a little thwarted this week. You feel a little extra tired, a little daydreamy, a little groggy, a little foggy. All of that is really normal for Neptune stations, especially if you have a lot of water in your chart or strong Neptune placement. You can expect to feel that, so don't worry. The key, of course, with Neptune is to surrender to the positive Neptune. So if you're feeling like you can't quite focus on your work, you need a little bit of extra rest, turn on some music, read some poetry, engage in positive Neptune activities. Have a mind to the ways that Neptune pulls you away in shadow Neptune ways, like doom scrolling, maybe having, one too many glasses of wine, whatever it is for you that is your shadow escape. Be gentle and forgiving with yourself, but just keep an eye on that and realize that when Neptune makes his presence known, there sometimes is a pull towards those shadow Neptune areas, as well as to the beautiful ones of spiritual retreat, prayer, meditation, art, poetry, music, all the things we love Neptune for. Neptune dissolves our boundaries. That can be very beautiful. It can be very challenging. So he's making his presence felt this week. The moons this week are moving from, let's see, we start with a delicious moon in Pisces. So again, that's kind of amplifying this Neptunian vibe that we'll have this week. Then, of course, we move to the moon in Aries. The moon in Aries closes with a square to Saturn. This is midweek. So there's, you might be feeling a little thwarted and irritated towards the middle of the week. And then the moon moves into beautiful Taurus, her happiest place. I always look forward to those Taurus moons. These are times when we can really focus on the deliciousness of our sensual lives. There are times when it's really good for us to take care of our money life and everything that that means. So those are the energies that the moon is moving us through. First, dreamy Pisces and that hint of what's to come with Neptune. Then the rush forward and the drive of Aries, but because it's a little bit of a difficult closing aspect, there may be some frustration there as well as the excitement. And then closing out the week with a yummy Taurus moon. Time to make a beautiful dinner, pay your bills, check on your investments, and spend a little extra time in bed, whatever it is that you do there. That's the Taurus moon. So that's a really nice way to close out the week. So if you want to hear more details about the aspects of the week and you want to hear me go into more depth about what to expect with every day of the week, you can tune into the Venus Rises podcast. You can search it on Spotify or sign up to my mailing list with a link below to be notified when it drops. That's a podcast that I do weekly with my dear friend, the brilliant astrologer, Rebecca Beer. And we go into more details. This is just a little preview of what the energy of the week is going to feel like. And I hope it will help you to navigate your week ahead. And I will see you again. Thanks for tuning in.